All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Podrace. Today is an exciting episode. We are going to be reviewing Spider-Man Brand New Day. It just came out Thursday night. We're doing this a couple days later, and we both saw it opening night, so that was exciting.
Yeah.
Um,
Biggest release of the pod so far.
I was going to say,
Easily.
this is kind of cool for us because we started this in January, and this is the biggest release we've had, and I would maybe ever have, based off the
Ever?
numbers it's
I mean,
doing. I mean,
maybe, but I think Secret
ever's
Wars
a
and
strong word.
Doomsday are going to be technically bigger releases, even if they're maybe
Sure.
better movies or more
This
fun,
is
I guess.
Yeah, but however long this thing goes, this is going to be one of the bigger releases we'll ever have.
Yeah.
So
This is like a full event. Like, this is what,
yeah,
like, maybe if we get a real Star Wars movie sometime down the line.
I
Like
was
an
going to say this.
episode.
This would have been like if we were doing this during Force Awakens or like Phantom
Yeah.
Menace type of thing. Like this is almost to that level. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
But why don't we'll do a little bit of spoiler free stuff first, not too much because the movie's been out a couple days, and by the time people see this, they probably have already seen it.
Yeah.
But why don't we
People that
just do
wanna see it
scores?
Are going to probably have seen it by now.
Yeah, but at least by tomorrow night, I would say by Sunday night. So let's just do scores first, talk a little bit, and then we'll jump into the movie itself.
All right, let's do it.
All right, you go first for your score, and then I'll.
I give it an 8 out of 10. That's where I see it right now.
Okay, I think I would have. I expected you to be higher. I'm also at 8 out of 10.
I gave it an 8 out of 10 after I saw it the other night, and while we'll get into it, I feel like it
Come
sat
down?
with me for a little bit. It calmed down. I still think it's like an 8 out of 10 movie. I don't even with
Yeah.
my gripes about it. So
Okay. Yeah, I came out of it. I said this to a few people. I gave it an 8 out of 10 out of the theater, but my 8 out of 10 felt like a 6 out of 10 because I really wanted to give it like a 9.5 going into it. So my
Yeah.
8, even though it's an amazing score, it felt worse as a score than it is. But that's kind of dissipated a little bit. I feel really good about the movie. I like it at 8 out of 10.
Yeah,
So yeah,
there was definitely times during the movie, like when I was watching it, like I was having a good time and it was really good, but like internally I was like, I'm kind of waiting for that
yes,
huge moment to happen.
yes.
To like
We'll talk about
jump my score up.
Mm-hmm. It never.
And it kind of never did happen.
Yeah, I was waiting for it, and we'll talk about No Way Home later, and I think that's where like, for me, a movie that has those spikes, those climaxes, or they stick the landing, do better with me personally because those moments sit with me as opposed to a movie that's really really good throughout, but doesn't ever spike like that. And this to me is one of those movies that like kind of flatlines in a good way throughout and never has that moment. So
yeah, I feel like No Way Home, like you still remember a ton of the iconic scenes in there, and you still go back and like watch them maybe once in a while if you want to see it. But like this movie, I feel like
I don't.
in a couple months or a year, I don't think there's that one scene like. We'll get. It's not really spoilers, I guess, but I would say, what do you think the one scene would be in this movie? Like, say it's probably the Hulk or the Hand would be like the top two.
No, I would. Maybe the Hulk, and I would say the one. I bounce around a spoiler here, but the Zendaya scene in the middle of the movie. That would be the other one that I think I would remember. But aside from those two, I don't know. Maybe the ending of the movie where, how can I word this?
End? The cliffhanger?
No, not the cliffhanger. Before that, after what happens to him, and they show the montage of the city and that whole thing. Yeah. Maybe that sticks with me too.
Yeah, that was that was a really good scene.
Yeah. So, but so that to me I think is a good point. Like I don't think this movie is gonna stick with a moment like that, like No Way Home does. So there's that. Where do you put this like in your MCU rankings? Like because I think I know where I have it.
Why don't you give yours first, just because let me think about it real quick, because I might change it up. So let me see where you have it at.
So when I look at my overall, let me pull it up on Letterboxd so I can just read off. When I look at MCU rankings for me, so I think there's very clearly movies that are better Winter
Mm-hmm.
Soldier, Infinity War, Civil War, Ragnarok, Avengers 1, Guardians 1, and I have Endgame all over it, I think, without
Uh-huh.
a question for me. Endgame, I could see people not putting it there. I personally do. Then I think you get into that tier of Iron Man 1, No Way Home, Guardians 3, and this movie, where I think it sits in that tier. So it would be like the A
Yeah.
tier of MCU movies to me. And I personally have First Avenger in there. I know that's like not a normal pick, but that's one of my favorites. But I have it there.
Yeah.
And then I think you drop off and you get to Age of Ultron, Homecoming, Black Panther, Thunderbolt. Like that is the tier after. So I have it in like the top 10 to 12 MCU ish range.
Yeah, I'd probably have it in a similar range. I, I still think I like this movie more than No Way Home, top to bottom. But I think No
Yes.
Way Home does have, and I think we said before that it wasn't going to necessarily reach the heights that that movie did, because I don't really think any Spider-Man movie is going to reach the heights that one did, just in terms of
It's,
overall
well,
hype and moments.
besides Endgame, there's really no other movie that does in the MCU. So that's a really
Yeah,
hard thing to follow up on.
maybe Secret Wars can, because you're just going to
Maybe.
have everybody from everywhere
Yeah.
come in, and fan
Yeah.
castings galore probably just going to be there just for some fan service, kind of like Multiverse of Madness had John
Yeah.
Krasinski in there.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I do think this is Tom Holland's best Spider-Man movie so far, and I think it's because they finally go more into Peter Parker than they ever have before. And I think a
Yeah.
lot of the best moments in this movie were when he was Peter or trying to balance Peter and Spider-Man.
The first two acts, in my opinion,
Yeah.
are where the movie is the strongest. And it's that third act to me that like is the reason it's not a 9 out of 10 or 9.5.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we'll get into more of the specifics on that because I feel very strongly about something we talked about last night over text. But um, yeah, I think that third act keeps it from jumping that tier and having that No Way Home, that feeling in my chest after I left the theater
Yeah.
um, watching this movie. So, is there anything else you want to talk about before we get into spoilers at all? Or
Um, I mean, if we are fully doing this uh, new trilogy, I don't know if it's going to be like the new trilogy, whatever. I do want Daniel Destin Cretton to be the director
yeah,
for all three,
yeah,
because
I agree.
I think, and I've seen this take before, so I do think this is the best visually and action. But in terms of best in visuals and action, this is the best one, other than maybe TASM 2,
I
in my
agree.
opinion.
Yeah,
Um, I think there are
everything. Go ahead.
everything. I think there are still some. I think when he's with, like spoiler, he swings with Zendaya sometimes. Sometimes I could tell like some of the shots weren't the best. It kind of reminded me of the Kristen Dunst shot of
Hmm.
her and
Hmm.
like the dummy of Toby,
Yeah,
but like the action, like I've never seen a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie with like as good of action sequences. The moves he was doing was insane, and like it did help that his powers were kind of mutating in a sense, so you had more flexibility and freedom to be creative with it. And I just think everything excelled. Like every action scene, I was very much entertained compared to previous installments.
yeah. The action's really good in this movie. The visuals are great. I think everything that it does really well. It's definitely this movie is very like you can tell it pulls from both the Insomniac games and TASM 2 specifically. Everything this movie does really well. I think TASM 2 does like a little bit better, like visually swinging stuff like that. But like if TASM 1 is 2, this or 1, this is like number 2 as far as best Spider-Man movies to do that. They're both
Yeah,
really good. But yeah, you can tell this they really listened and pulled from those two projects to put this movie together.
yeah, and I really liked that he was in the suit for a lot of it. And I
Yeah,
know before the movie, well, how did like I definitely noticed some of the shots where you could see his ears, and you had a comment about that before. Did it?
it
Did,
didn't bother me in the movie. I really didn't
yeah,
focus on it. It didn't bother me. It just I didn't notice it. I've seen a few reels after like the stretching scene where I did
yeah.
notice it, but if I didn't notice it watching the movie, I it doesn't matter to me then, I guess.
Yeah, I
So
also kind of like that you could kind of see his face, like his eyes through the mask at times, and you can kind of get emotion out of that. Or it
yeah, and
just
I saw an
also gives
interview
that
about that too.
sense
Yeah.
of like realism that he's actually finally wearing the suit.
Hmm.
And I think the his eyes still had some like the actual suit eyes still had some expression to it when he moved around, just not as much as previously.
Yeah, I'm gonna write something down for spoilers that I do want to talk about with that because
All
now I
right.
just thought of something, but I don't want to say it now.
I
Um,
mean, we can. Um,
is
I
there?
mean, before spoilers, like now we can talk about it in spoilers. We can
Okay,
get into spoilers.
yeah, because
Yeah.
that just made me think of something that is almost like a continuity error, but like not so much. So
All right.
I'll bring
Well,
that
we'll get
up.
into spoilers, and honestly, you can let it rip, just because it's
Okay,
fresh on the mind.
do you want to do it now then?
Yeah,
Spoilers.
we can get into
All right.
spoilers.
So spoiler warning: if you haven't seen
Yeah,
it, click off.
spoilers
We'll probably
now.
put that before every short too that we do
Yeah.
for this movie so far. But I want to build on that. So the ears and stuff, I know we talked about like how that makes it feel like he has absolutely nothing and he's just like a guy in a suit now. He doesn't have the resources, but he has his own like Jarvis in the suit and all this high
Yeah, I
tech.
thought that
So
was
if you
kind of
have,
weird to go that way.
yeah, and so I didn't hate like the fact that he has a Jarvis. Like
Mm.
it makes sense that he would like secretly inherit stuff from Tony and the check that
Yeah.
Aunt May got, and maybe the police also support him with stuff because he does work for them in this movie. But if you're gonna go the route of like he doesn't have the face shell and the suit ripples and like that kind of thing where he's like kind of just thrown it together, then why does he have that too? Because that almost doesn't clash to me together the right way.
Yeah, I mean, you also like don't. I mean, unless he's like kind of like secretly seals it. Like we don't see him ever working, or does he ever hint at a job that he has other than Spider Man? Because like, how does he even
No.
afford
Well, I
everything he
think
has him? Right?
didn't Aunt May got a check from Stark Foundation or Tony in one of the movies, right? And I assume he
I think
probably
so.
inherited everything from May. So he probably does have
Yeah,
some
but he
type of
didn't
money.
exist. He technically doesn't even exist. Is the thing. That's like because he's technically like
But
If Aunt May didn't
well,
die, she wouldn't remember who he was either.
yes, but everybody forgot who Peter Parker was. They forgot he was Spider-Man, but like legally on documents he still exists. And so if he's like the beneficiary to all Aunt May's stuff, like it would still go to him. Like just like
Yeah.
the random attorney isn't going to know who he is, so they're still going to issue him that stuff.
Mm.
So I don't think that like the spell affects him inheriting
I
money
mean,
and
I get
stuff like
yeah.
that.
Did she die? Yeah, I mean, we're also kind of just like looking
We're nitpicking
deep
there.
into it
Yeah,
because like
yeah, that's it's
she
deeper than
probably would
they've
have
intended.
donated that money, but
Hmm.
then at the same time, it's been 4 years. I'm sure there's some way. I would like him in the next movie to work for the Bugle. I think that would be cool,
Yeah,
or
they should
any
do that.
or anything. Like it doesn't have
Yeah,
to be the Bugle, but yeah.
yeah.
Um,
Do you have? Why don't we just kind of bounce off each other pros and cons, and just kind of build up that way? Unless you have some talking points you want to get off your chest right now.
this can go in the pros. I think the biggest pro of this movie, well, not the biggest, but one of them, is the inclusion of Frank Castle and the relationship, the bromance they have,
Yep.
the bickering, all the bickering, their chemistry is great. Them probably working on this and the Odyssey at the same time definitely helped with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I was thinking about it, like, I guess Frank Castle would be this movie's Iron Man, this movie's Strange, this movie's Nick Fury in comparison to the trilogy.
Yeah.
And like this feels the most natural, and this feels like the most Spider-Man companion in a movie we've ever gotten. Because with Iron Man and Strange, it's like Spider-Man might. I mean, Strange probably not, but Spider-Man might have more power. But he just felt inferior to them in his own movie in
Hmm.
terms of stature in the universe, and obviously he's much younger than them. And even
Yeah.
Fury still told him what to do the whole movie in a sense. He was still a high schooler, and here you finally, it feels like Spider-Man is the main character, and there's no one taking that away from him like they did in
Yeah.
his previous movies.
Yeah. He's not getting big man by anybody else
Yeah,
in the movie. I my buddy did. He brought this up this morning, and I disagree with the point, but it is interesting. He was a little bit disappointed that they kind of just immediately showed them already knowing each other and didn't show like how they met. Um, I kind of disagree. I don't think that was an issue with this specific movie. Maybe the Staten Island thing would have been cool as an end credits or mid credits, but I don't think there was an issue with them like already jumping in knowing each other.
yeah.
It's not the same as the Fantastic Four one. I think that's an issue showing them already as like heroes, but this I don't think was an issue. Them already knowing each other.
I think the only thing you could say with the Staten Island thing is maybe that's how his Disney Plus special would have ended, or that was like a brief scene, maybe in
Yeah,
Daredevil somehow in Spider-Man, or they talked about it in the Punisher scene. Like I personally, I think if you had to show their backstory of them meeting or having them meet here, it would have ruined the flow. Like
I agree.
I
There was
think it's
nowhere to
better
do
that
it.
they have this set relationship, even if it's not perfect and they butt
Yeah.
heads a lot. They both still
Yeah.
respect each other,
Hmm.
and I think if you have more of an origin story of how they met, then you wouldn't have had as good of a movie, in my opinion.
I agree. It would have messed up the flow, and it would have distracted from showing Peter's like struggle in society in the first 20 minutes before that, or
Yeah,
whatever the time frame was. It's yeah. So I don't think that was necessarily an issue. I am genuinely shocked that Daredevil did not appear in this movie. I really
yeah.
thought he would have.
I thought he would have. I'm not. I'm
Upset
not
about
really
it.
upset about it.
Yeah.
Like it would have been cool, but he also like what he would have helped with the hand fight scene, and then I feel like it kind of would have taken away from that whole moment too.
Yeah.
So
I agree. So I'm
so
not upset about it,
it would have
but
been
I'm
cool to
shocked.
see him. Yeah, that's like we didn't really get any big
Cameos like that.
cameos in this movie other than I guess Aunt May.
But that was, I mean, she was at the premieres and all that. Like everybody kind of knew
Yeah,
she'd be in it in a
yeah,
way.
but she was like the one that I guess technically wasn't announced. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
so, because like I did kind of forget Yelena was in the movie. Not gonna lie, until that scene happened.
I guess I just expected her to have a little bit more of a role than like the comedic relief in those scenes. I thought she'd
Uh,
be in a little bit more, maybe like another addition to like their team with Punisher and stuff. But I
I don't
guess
know.
I just kind
I
of had the
expected her
wrong
to be in.
idea.
I thought she was gonna be in the movie less, considering the whole time online it was like the big thing was like they're gonna see each other
The
like naked or something.
yeah,
So
which
everyone, including myself, like
they
thought
did. Yeah,
it would have been like her living at that hotel complex or whatever, or apartment complex, and it's when he transitions to like the organic webbing that's when she would have seen him. Like
yeah,
that would have
maybe.
made more sense. That's what I thought. I mean, I
Okay.
think she played a good role in the movie. Yeah, she was like more of a comedic relief, but she still added to the story and helped
Yeah,
him out with the whole Jean Grey stuff that we'll definitely get into in the
yeah,
negatives.
yeah.
So
Um, I would to let me. All right, I'll jump into this. I thought, and I can't believe I'm saying this after the movie. I thought Zendaya was like brilliant in this movie. I thought she was amazing.
yeah, I think yeah, and we both, because this was important I was going to make, we both did not we criticized and we did not want Ned and Zendaya back in this movie or the trilogy. But when I was watching this movie, I was like, I'm glad that they're here.
Yeah, I didn't necessarily not want them in it. I didn't want them to like immediately in this movie remember who he was. But the way they did it was so good that I don't care. Like they really
Yeah,
hit the nail on the head with how they did it. Especially Ned like not knowing till the end the Zendaya thing. I thought one of the best scenes in this movie is when she finds the note in the ship
yeah.
and he walks in the room. Like the way they did that whole thing was brilliant to me. I thought
Mm.
that was amazing. So I have no complaints about her remembering who he was in that way.
Yeah.
Because if he just read the note to her and it was corny like that, I'd have an issue. But the way they did it was awesome.
Yeah. And I think it was better than him having to read the note. I just
Yeah,
want to get into that. I think, like you said, they handled that scene perfectly. And I'm glad that they didn't, like, flip the script. Like, it was real. She was like, you know, like, I'm grateful that you protected that person. And
yes.
I'm sure that person loved you, but that's not, like, I was waiting for
It
her
was
to
the
say that's not me, but I don't think she outright said that. But she
no,
was
it was
like,
like the Gamora scene basically.
yeah. She was like, that's not me. She didn't all of a sudden remember or like fall in love with him or throw everything away because
Hmm.
of a note. And
Yeah,
you know, I mean, she kind of wanted. And then after that, you had she invited him upstairs to see Ned. Like you can tell she might be interested now to see like what they would have had,
yeah.
and she still
She,
cares about him, but she's not just head over heels over him just because of this note that she found.
and she probably does like him a little bit. I mean, she was kind of flirting when she was laying on the bed behind the
Yeah.
curtain with him.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little bit of like the first inkling of interest there. I thought also that scene on when she finds the letter is where the not having the face shell actually benefited, because you could see his expressions like under the
Yeah.
mask of like just the oh no, what do I do here, like kind of situation.
Yeah.
And like even when they're talking you could see him like just totally distraught. So
Hmm.
that benefited from not having the face shell under the mask there.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the top 3 scenes in the movie for sure.
Yeah, I would probably agree overall.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, no, I mean, Tom Holland's great in that. I think Tom Holland's great in this movie. I still kind of feel like No Way Home is his best overall in terms of Spider-Man. I don't know. It's either this or that.
Performance.
Yeah.
I think this is a better performance start to finish. I think the Aunt May scene in No Way Home is his best work ever in Spider-Man.
Okay.
So I mean, and then some of the like the Toby scene when he stops the glider,
Yeah.
the rooftop scenes there. Like there's some his best scenes are definitely in No Way Home, but I think start to finish, because that
Hmm.
first half of No Way Home is kind of hard to get through sometimes.
Yeah. No,
So
I agree.
I would say this one's a better start to finish, but that has better scenes or moments for him.
Okay.
I
Um,
would go
back,
ahead.
well, you kind of made me think of it with you said No Way Home, like that first hour's pretty slow. I feel like this movie's paced really well. Like I don't,
It is
there was
paced well.
never, while we have acknowledged that we don't think there's extremely high highs, I still don't think there was ever a moment in this movie that I was bored. Like
No,
it
it didn't.
was
It didn't feel
nothing
slow.
dragged at all.
Yeah,
Even the scenes of just them talking, like I mean, the rooftop scene that we will talk about in a bit, and then the um the submarine scene or the ship scene with the note, like even
yeah.
those, or even them flirting when he's trying to figure out how to use um why am I blanking on the name of it, the
The what?
the thing you
The
put on his neck,
oh
the
yeah. The I'm blanking on
I'm
the name
blanking on
too,
the
but
name of it.
it hinders the
Yeah,
hormones of
inhibitor,
the
I
yeah,
think.
inhibitor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even that scene when they're just like talking and you see that chemistry, which obviously they're gonna have, they should have great chemistry. They're married in real life, but it just felt organic, and I think their relationship was really good in this movie, and they weren't even boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, that's in my notes. I said the relationship between all 3 of them. Funny enough, they don't know each other in this movie, but it's the best relationship they've displayed on screen. Like their dynamic was the best it's been. And I thought with Zendaya and Tom, they do a really good job of like they're not together, but like they're flirting. And like in high school when you see that between friends, you start to like giggle and kick your feet, like, oh my god, like they're doing
Yeah,
it. Like it almost like invokes that kind of feeling in you seeing them flirt, especially on the behind the curtain thing.
yeah.
So that was really well done in this movie. I really appreciated the route they took with these 3 characters in this
Mm-hmm.
movie. I'll just jump into it. I think this is the best looking Hulk we've gotten in the MCU. I always said it was
Yeah,
Ragnarok. I think this one's better. He was bigger, he was jacked. The face looked really good. I thought this was the best Hulk we've gotten in the MCU. And I thought Professor Hulk was really well done too. Like a possessed, angry
yeah,
Professor Hulk was actually intimidating.
yeah. I mean, we'll get into the Hulk because I think there's some highs with the Hulk, and then there's a
Some
big low
lows.
for me. So
Yeah.
yeah, and like we talked about it, like the toy leaks, like there's a Professor Hulk, but like I don't even consider the Bruce like that as much Professor Hulk as like Endgame or
Yeah, no, not even
like
close.
She Hulk when
He was
he's
also
like
bigger.
yeah. Um, I don't know. I really liked Banner and Hulk's inclusion in this movie up until the
Yeah.
end. Like I like to see that Bruce was trying to teach at ESU, and he kind of had this kind of going back to his teaching in scientific days compared to just being an Avenger or Hulk. And you have the continuity of the inhibitor, whatever. I'm just blanking on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
From
Just
She
chip.
Hulk and Shang
Yeah.
Chi. And then, like you said, like I think him being possessed by Jean was great, and you can see that she can barely even do it. Like
Hmm.
that's how powerful the Hulk is
Yeah.
internally, which I'm glad to see because we keep seeing the Hulk get absolutely nerfed every time he's there. Ever
Yeah.
since ever since the end of Infinity War, he just gets his ass kicked every time.
Yeah.
Um, and then you finally build up to that Hulk reveal, and I thought like that was one of the best scenes in the movie, him transforming.
Hmm.
into the Hulk, and
And
even Peter's.
they added the no girl into the middle of it too, which they didn't put in the trailer,
Yeah, yeah,
which was cool.
and you even have Peter's like I didn't even know you could get that
That
big.
big, yeah, yeah, that
And
was
I
good.
mean,
I
go ahead,
I was
because
gonna say
we'll
I
get into it at the
now
end.
the one, it's not a negative with the movie, it's a negative with the marketing, is that I understand why you have to reveal the Hulk because it is a selling point and it's huge
Yeah,
and like it's unavoidable. But you can tell that they filmed that movie, that scene, in order for it to be a surprise. You hear the banging on the vault
yeah,
door for a solid minute, and it's like
hmm
it's like almost like a horror movie scene where you don't know what the hell
yeah,
that is, but like you're getting closer, and you know it's. I mean, we know it's the Hulk, but like Peter doesn't, and
yeah,
then you finally realize it's the Hulk. If they had kept that secret and like that Hulk was revealed in the movie,
yeah,
one, social media would be going crazy, and I don't think it would have hurt the box office really at all because it is
no,
Spider-Man. I don't think it matters. It's the same. It's Brave New World suffered from it too. Like if they were both kept surprises, I actually think my rating might be like an 8.5 instead of an 8 on this
yeah.
movie if they kept that secret.
I think, and we both agree that Brave New World, like revealing the Red Hulk, killed the movie because the whole movie is literally building up to him,
Yeah.
transforming into Red Hulk. But I think we can both acknowledge that movie probably needed that marketing, just
Hmm.
because of how many behind the scenes issues there were, and it was gonna flop either way. And it was like,
Yeah.
we have to give people another reason to come.
So at
However,
least this movie.
this
Go
movie
ahead.
didn't need
Sorry.
it.
Yes.
Like you might have had what 10 million of your 800 million opening
Yeah.
weekend be
Yeah.
dedicated Hulk fans, and that's even a big stretch. Like
Yeah.
you could even still had like shown Mark Ruffalo in the trailer. You didn't have to
Could have
show the
shown
Hulk.
Banner. Yeah.
Yeah, just in the
I
and people can assume that yeah, Hulk's going to be in this movie, but you don't know until you actually
try it.
finally get to that scene.
Yeah, it's tough because I think Lego was the first one to leak it, and I know their sets came out today for this movie, and Savage Hulk is one of those sets, and they always get leaked like a month before, so I guess it was unavoidable in a sense,
Yeah, I
but
know there was like Lego
it's
leaks. There was like
yeah,
those like mystery boxes, Hasbro. There's just a
Funkos,
bunch of, which that's what sucks because I'm sure like you're gonna have a ton of that for Doomsday too.
yeah,
They
yeah,
already have kind of found like leaks with
yeah, they have
Doomsday,
leaked.
so
Yeah, I mean at least they've shown the Doom suit at Comic Con, so it's not a total
yeah.
spoil. And
hmm
I mean, we've seen Steve, so I don't know what else they could spoil in that movie. There's unless there is like a Spider-Man or Hulk surprise in that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're gonna get a Spider-Man in it, probably Toby.
Hmm.
Deadpool and Wolverine still aren't officially like announced. There's gonna be some surprises still in there,
Yeah, yeah,
but I really hope they don't end up leaking. So,
I agree. So that
um,
was my thing with Hulk, but I appreciated the inclusion.
yeah, I mean, like you said with the marketing, a lot of it when they showed off the fight scene in the marketing, they also kept showing more and more as time went on. And
Hmm.
I remember, I don't know if it was like Tom Holland himself or like Marvel, but they were like, "There's a lot of this fight you haven't seen." Not
There was,
really.
yeah, we saw all of it. Maybe the Professor Hulk stuff we didn't see, but like we
Yeah,
saw them
but that
outside
wasn't.
of the building.
Yeah, we didn't see the Punisher fighting with them, like in the Professor Hulk, but like the whole outside scene you fight, and like I'm just gonna get into it. I absolutely hate how it ends. I'm
The
so
fight,
yeah,
yeah, it was
I'm
dumb.
so sick of Hulk being defeated, any version of Hulk being defeated by a simple few words. And like this one feels is the worst one of them all. I think this is worse than the Brave New World talk down.
I don't
The
know.
Brave New
I
World
don't.
talk down at least made sense for the character with the cherry blossom trees, and eventually Liv Tyler
It
comes back
did.
into it. So it's
It
like here, Hulk also doesn't know Peter, and he never introduces him.
yeah,
Even when he sees him at ESU, he uses the name Ned Leeds,
yeah.
so he doesn't say Peter. And Hulk's choking him. I mean, at least Hulk didn't lose this fight. I mean,
Yeah, he didn't like lose it. He kind of just like gave up. It's hard because you keep putting Hulk in these movies with these characters who are like very clearly not capable of beating him one on one, and then you have
yeah,
to
and they have to
explain.
win because they're the good guy. They're the
Yeah,
main character, good guy of the story.
yeah. Like as strong as Spider-Man is, he doesn't beat the Hulk, and so how do you realistically? And then if like yeah, you could involve Stark Tech, but then everybody complains that it's Iron Boy Junior again.
Yeah, and I
defeating
mean,
Hulk, and
even
it's
even
not
he used
Spider-Man.
the shocker, and he got a hit
Yeah,
on him, but then he only got that one hit because Hulk
yeah, and
stops
Hulk
it in the
tanked it.
next one.
Yeah,
So
there
yeah,
was I
I just wasn't a big fan of just him saying it's Peter, I'm your friend, and then
yeah.
yeah, I understand him seeing the reflection, but like this was full Savage Hulk. It wasn't. I don't know. I just don't. I think you could have handled it better.
Yeah, it was fully enraged Savage Hulk, and maybe this is me being picky, but when he's like webbed against the wall, and he's also webbed, and the debris is hanging off the building and it's pulling him, like in my mind I imagine Hulk is strong enough to easily tank all of that and pull himself up and not have the debris pull him down.
Yeah,
Maybe I
or at
just don't
least break the
understand.
web. He could have
Yeah,
probably
like
like
I don't.
karate chop the web, and then everything would have fell off.
And even if at that point it's organic webbing, I don't think it should be strong enough to subdue the Hulk. Maybe I just don't
No.
understand the power scaling between those two things
Yeah.
in the sense. But like I think Hulk should be able
I'm
to
pretty sure in that
blast
scene
through
it
all of that.
was just the web shooters because he was
Was it?
controlling his uh
He had the chip on, so he
yeah
was using those. That's
transformation
right.
at that point.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't fully
I think you
accept the
easily could have
organic.
just had Tom push him off the building in the same way he gives up and he gets knocked out or something, or he gets taken out of the fight at least and transforms back.
I guess. I yeah. I. It's a slippery slope for them to
Yeah.
tackle, but it could have been better. It wasn't terrible to me,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just it's a slippery slope when you involve the Hulk and you need weaker characters to somehow win that fight.
Yeah.
So
So,
there's that.
um, what do you want to save Jean for the end, or do you want to just get into it now?
We can let's get into it. Let's get into
All
it.
right. We'll start out at the beginning, or the first thing. Like, I hate the reveal.
Uh,
I just
yeah.
wish I don't know, you build up this secret for the longest time, you know, like in interviews for like Jean Grey, the deny, and then you find out she's Jean Grey from like Yelena digging through databases with her like identity. Like, I don't know, it just felt anticlimactic
It
considering
did.
what you. But
Especially
at the same time, like, was she going to be like, I am Jean Grey? Like, I don't
it
know.
was it was kind of lame because the whole marketing was like built up to make you think it's not she's Sadie Sink isn't Jean Grey,
Yeah.
and the first half of her introduction is set up that way, and then they just show her on like an identification thing that it's Sadie Sink's picture with Jean Grey the
Yeah.
name. And it's like, okay, that was all for nothing because we knew who she was all along.
Yeah.
You could have just revealed that to us. I mean, we talked about it a little bit. I have strong thoughts on the whole
Yeah.
Jean Grey involvement in this movie. Let's just jump into it. I don't first of all, the lack of villain in this movie is the reason I don't have it at a 9.5 out of 10. It's why it's an 8
Yeah.
for me. But Jean Grey, like, I don't understand the setup that they went for in this movie with her. She is not a redeemable character,
Yeah.
like at all, in my opinion. We talked about it last night in a group chat. Like, her and her sister, especially her, are like objectively terrible people in this movie. They
Yeah.
kill countless people. She throws Zendaya off of a roof. She backs the old guy into traffic and puts his arms out just to aura farm in front of Peter and
Yeah.
kills him.
Also, in that scene, like, they don't even show Peter like checking on the guy. I thought that was
He goes flying.
He's like,
Peter takes away.
He's like, I gotta go to MJ.
Yeah,
He's
literally.
like, fuck this random guy that just got hit
Yeah.
by a car.
It's
But,
stupid. They literally like Winter Soldier people on command, even in the
Yeah.
flashback. They're like they're dangers to society, and they clearly are not using their powers for good in this movie at all, her or the sister. And then Damage Control shows up, in my opinion, rightfully subdues the sister. And then you try and make Damage Control the villain in this. I don't understand how I'm supposed to disagree with Damage Control, because in my mind they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, I think with that, I don't necessarily disagree, and then it's like just I would say more the way they go at it, because I mean they're really trying to steal the powers to use for their own benefit and to control people themselves. So while maybe
Do they even explain that? Like, you don't even put that in the movie.
They talk about like
Do
that
they?
they want to harness these powers so they can.
Okay.
Because I mean, you see, even in the fight with the hand at the end, like they're building all these weapons to be able to defeat any person with special abilities. Like they have the guns to stop the webs. Um,
And also,
so
like, thank you for telling me in the first 5 minutes of the movie that they work for the hand works for damage control now, because now I've seen the hand fight in the trailers, so I know who the bad guy is going to be.
yeah, and even the head of damage control, Metzger, like I know we as the audience know, but like I feel like Peter should be smart enough to like smell the
Sniff that
bullshit
out.
from this dude's breath. Like
Yeah.
he's just your generic government official, like sniveling bad guy. He's like, I mean, I did like that he didn't actually know what the VMAX was
That
because
was
the whole
another
time you think
thing.
he's like hiding it, but
Yeah.
like he clearly has a motive for capturing Jean Grey or stopping her, and Peter's just assumes the best in everyone. I guess it's kind of, but that is kind of also Peter Parker.
Yeah.
He's kind of with that Superman aspect in that.
And the whole VMAX thing, like, you set it up with Peter, like, what's VMAX? I have no clue. And he almost seems like he's lying.
Yeah,
And then Jean Grey brings it up later, VMAX, and it turns out to just be a label on a vent. And in my mind, like, no shit, he doesn't know what it is. It's a label on a
yeah,
vent. Why would he know what VMAX is? And I guess, like, they make it seem like he's hiding something when he legitimately was not
yeah,
there. So that was another. And I thought, I know the actor's been in a few things. I thought he kind of phoned it in on that performance. I didn't
yeah.
think
I
he
mean,
was that
compared to
good.
his other appearances, I didn't think he gave that great of a performance.
Not that it's a great role that required a lot, but I didn't think he was that good.
Yeah, I really didn't like. I don't know. The VMAX reveal was kind of
Lame.
yeah, and I get it. That
Stupid.
was her last like thing she saw before she died. But like you were building it up, and it's like, oh, it's just event. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It was, but it helped Jean mutate into like actually Jean Grey
Yeah.
with her powers now. But even
And
going
I
back to that, she literally abducts like half New
staff.
York City. Well, half of New York
So
City too.
yeah. And like I can only assume the sister probably did the same thing to a lot of people in that room. So like no shit they killed her. She was a danger. So
Yeah.
like I don't even feel bad that she died necessarily in the movie. So I don't know, the whole damage control, and even in Wonder Man they like kind of make them not terrible because he's a loose cannon with his powers. So obviously they try and get him under control.
Hmm.
So I don't know, maybe I'm misreading this and somebody's going to kill me on it, but like I don't think Jean Grey is at all redeemable, and I don't think damage control is like the villain.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think she's redeemable in this. I mean,
Yeah.
like she kills a bunch of people. Like I don't just to look for your sister. Like
Hmm.
that's not good enough
You don't
in
get
my
to kill
opinion.
people over that.
And like she also could have like told Peter that at some point. Maybe he could have helped her. Like
Yeah.
she was being so secretive about it. Because even with the VMAX thing, like she still knew she was looking for her sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
And even at the end of the movie, she doesn't want his help, and he gets shot over it.
yeah, and then yeah, and
Yeah.
she also walks away. Like I guess they couldn't. She could have used her powers to get out, but she just like walks away and she's fine.
Yeah.
Like she doesn't get any type of
Yeah. She
repercussions
kind of she
or
goes into like
anything for it.
hiding. Yeah.
Yeah, off to the
So,
X
but
Men movie.
I mean, all that to say, Sadie Sink I thought was really good in the role. I have no
Yeah.
complaints about her. Like she was
Mhm.
really good, and I hope she's there to stay. But
Mhm.
just the handling of that character to me was a rough spot in this movie. I think if the way they went about that to me, like all in all, she was not a bad guy intended in this movie. She was supposed to You're supposed to feel for her. There should have been a better villain. Like if Mister Negative was at like the one pulling the strings of this movie, and that was the real reveal, like that to me makes this a 9 out of 10 movie. But the fact that it lacked that is what keeps
Yeah,
it
I
down
think
for
if
me.
you could have had anybody like
Mm-hmm.
pulling the strings and they could have been like, I have your sister, or
Yeah.
I know where your sister is, but you have to do this for me, would have made
Mm-hmm.
it a lot better than her just like mind controlling all these people, going to destroy New York City over her sister, and then she's also supposed to be like she's going to be like one of the main characters in the MCU for the next 10 years at least. And the first introduction you have to her is
She's
her taking
killing
over.
people.
This isn't even like a Bucky Barnes situation where he was
No.
clearly brainwashed and not in control of anything that he was
This
doing.
is free will.
Yeah. So it's gonna
And
it's gonna take a lot for her to, be turned into this hero. Maybe she,
Yeah.
I mean, she's in Secret Wars, I think, so she'll probably play a big part in helping the heroes win, maybe. But still, it's like,
It's so what are you gonna do? Like spend a movie with like us watching her deal with like this internal guilt of killing people now that she's had like a moment where she realizes everything is wrong that she's done?
I
Like,
mean,
am
I'm
I gonna
sure
have
you're
to
gonna
sit
have to
here
have
through a sob
something like
story?
that.
Yeah,
Like maybe half a movie, or like in the X-Men movie, they're calling her out for it, or
yeah.
she's dealing with that. But like, and I know Jean Grey does eventually turn into like a villain with the Dark Phoenix and stuff, but this is our first introduction to her, so it just doesn't make sense that you made her this big bad. And I kind of lost what I was gonna say. So
It's fine.
when it
I'll
comes
jump to
back
this.
to me, yeah,
What did you think of the Aunt May scene? Because I kind of have a nitpicky opinion about it. I liked it, but I have a nitpicky thing.
I thought I'm glad that they had a scene with her in this movie. I thought it was a good scene. I thought seeing her say the same thing for like the fifth time, just to a new character, it's like, all right, like
Yeah, I
the
kind
great
of
power
like.
in a different verbiage.
Yeah, well, it definitely has a different meaning now in
Yeah.
that conversation. There,
Mhm.
it's not the power responsibility thing, but I thought it was good, but maybe I'm missing the mark on this one too. Like, I think the fact that it was a conversation between her and Jean and not her and Tom kind of like made it hit less for me than it would have if it was between her and Tom Holland or Peter Parker. I know Tom isn't the one that, or Peter is not the character that needed that conversation in this movie. It's her. But seeing it between them, like, I don't feel bad for Jean Grey. So her getting this like talking from Aunt May doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
to me. I didn't feel like an emotional connection to that conversation because I didn't think Jean deserved it.
Yeah, it also just doesn't make sense that Peter was like, let me show you my like this great person in my life after you have tortured me and everyone else in the city for the past week.
You said it earlier or yesterday. She basically sexually assaults him on the rooftop.
Yeah, I mean, she like, and who knows like what else she
And
does with
Zendaya, she sexually
yeah,
assaults MJ.
who knows what else she does with like half the people that she brainwashes
Mm-hmm.
or and mind controls in this film. So yeah, it's just I just don't see how you can redeem her anytime soon
Yeah,
outside of a big heroic moment and maybe Secret Wars. But
yeah.
people are still going to think about, like, I think the biggest takeaway in this movie would be her villainous acts and not, oh, she realized the error of her ways at the end of it. And you know what, kind of getting into that, like, I hate that it's with Hulk, like, the big bad of this movie is defeated by the power of friendship again in the MCU.
Yeah, she technically is. Yeah.
And it's like, two this and Thunderbolts back to back years, it's like the same concept of just defeating the bad guy through love. And then even
It's
Brave
like
New World, it's been a lot of MCU movies in the past couple years have been defeating the villain by talking to them. And I
it,
think that works for some villains but not all villains.
yeah, it's an issue that they, for some reason, it's the only recipe they have to defeat these villains. It's very similar to the Star Wars thing where like the only recipe they have is the father son journey in these movies. Like for some reason MCU only can do power of friendship as their like solution to these films. And it's kind of it I don't think it's as bad as the Star Wars thing, but it's definitely becoming noticeable and it's hurting these movies, especially when you have these like credible strong villains and all of a sudden they're
Yeah.
not, like, they're defeated from nothing.
It's also
So
okay to have a villain that's just a bad person. Like a bad guy. Like the High Evolutionary in Guardians, like there's
just
never
a
a
bad
moment
person.
in that movie that you ever like are like, you know what, he has a point, or like this guy's misunderstood. No,
Like
he's a
yeah,
terrible evil human being.
yeah,
And it's like it's okay to have more of that in the MCU when you have it's a universe with people with superpowers. It doesn't have to be grounded in like, that this person had a rough childhood and now they're bombing New York City. Like, you know,
yeah,
they can just be a bad person.
yeah. I mean, even like you look back at other characters like Loki, like adopted, probably not treated the same as Thor. You can see why he'd be angry. It doesn't justify what he did, but you can see why. Thanos, like, he's batshit crazy, but at least he has like a in his mind a logical reason for what he's doing,
Yeah.
even if it is wrong. High Evolutionary is the one I think that they do a good job of like, no, he's just like crazy and there's no reason for it. And they've kind of lost that way since that
Yeah,
movie
I mean,
with
I
this.
think like even Iron Man 1, like Jebediah is just a bad guy with behind the suit.
Yeah,
Like he plays his face, but he wants these people to have these dangerous weapons, and like there's never a moment in that where you're like take his side.
yeah, and I guess like not to go too far from Spider-Man, but Ultron would be one where it's like he's a bad guy, but like it's Tony's fault, and you can see the reasoning why Ultron
Yeah.
exists, and it's almost
Mm-hmm.
logical. And maybe the only other one I could think of that's like totally irrational is Red Skull because he's a
Yeah.
Nazi and like he just
Yeah.
wants to be a god.
Mm-hmm.
So there's really no justification there. But like that's the only one I can think of. But
Yeah, and I
to
think
go back
even
to
with Doom later this year, like we're gonna get a
he'll have
backstory of his
reasons.
family, like
Yeah,
losing his family. So,
yeah,
but yeah, I don't think you need to talk down every villain. It's okay to you don't even have to you don't have to kill the villain, but you can have them beat
no,
in a fight and arrested
yeah, yeah.
and
I
put in
agree.
like some sort of Alcatraz type prison, like the Raft.
The Raft, yeah.
Yeah. So,
So yeah,
um, I kind of liked the side villains in this movie, how they were kind of here and there, but I also didn't like. I've been wanting to see Scorpion, so I'm a little biased, but even he has such a brief. I like the opening montage of all like the Boomerang on all those villains that he's fighting, and then even the scene in the snow with Scorpion's really well done. But then even the second fight with Scorpion, it's not even Scorpion, it's
yeah.
Jean
It's not even
controlling
him.
Scorpion.
Yeah,
And then like all of our theories. I mean, I don't think we had like a single theory correct for this
I
movie,
don't think anybody did because
which is a
yeah,
good thing in my opinion. But at the same time, like I wanted Tombstone to be in this movie. He was in this movie for what 10 seconds, and
dude, he
he
got
gets
paid $500,000 for that movie.
hey, that's a
That's
pretty good
yeah,
video right there.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
he just holds him. He gets arrested, and then he's out of the movie.
yeah,
Um. So yeah, I don't know. Like it's kind of goes back to it. Like if one of them somehow were controlling Jean Grey, it just would have been better
yeah,
because you have it set up. And Tom Holland said before, and obviously smoke screens and stuff like that. But he's like, you haven't even seen like the real villain of this movie through the trailers. We did though. Like
yeah.
unless you count like Trauma as like the real villain, or like you could count Metzger as the real villain, I guess. But
And who
it's still
like
him and Jean.
who's the one that knew who was? Is it Jean Grey, the one that knew who Peter was that he was hinting at? It's Jean, isn't it? Doesn't she say his name at one point?
Yeah,
Peter Parker.
she when
Yeah.
it's
So
when
that's
she
anticlimactic.
kills herself with that guy in front of him,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
because it's when he's like trying to use the organic webbing, and she's like, I'm gonna go pay MJ a visit,
yeah,
which kind of getting into that scene, MJ says that she remembers being at home and then remembers falling off the building. So when he gets there, it's kind of like implied that Jean might have already been
possessed
controlling
her.
her. Yeah.
Yeah,
And she just played along with it for the whole
which is crazy.
yeah, so I
It's a
mean
long time.
we can get into that scene kind of to carry on to it if you want.
Which
Like
one? The
the
rooftop?
rooftop. Yeah. I thought that scene was really well done. I mean for me, I kind of as soon as she started talking about
Yeah,
I
you
must have
sniffed it out
known you.
immediately.
I must have known you. Like I was like, all right, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no way that she would. Even though
Every-
sure MJ figured it out the first time, and she's like a smart girl. Like it was so on the nose.
yeah,
And then
all
she
the like
just
all the women in the theater are already like screaming like yes, like they're back together, like idiots. They're like it's not real.
someone like next to me was when the reveal happened. She was like, I know it. I was like, yeah, well, like,
Just you wait.
she was like, we must have been friends or classmates or like something more. And then she kisses him. I'm like, all right, like even
Yeah,
if she knew, she's not just gonna kiss this
and lifts the
random
mask
guy.
up. Yeah,
Yeah. But even after that, when when Jean's like, yeah, hold her, Peter, like that's like that's so villainous, and you want
yeah,
this
it's
person to be a
terrible.
hero
It's
in the
terrible.
rest of your MCU. Like it just, I can't buy that she's supposed to be an Avenger.
No,
at this point. And even Bucky is still never technically an Avenger. Yeah, the new Avengers, but like he's
but
still
never original.
he was never on the actual Avengers team for
Yeah,
and he
I
couldn't
guess
and he
that's
couldn't have the shield because of all the bad things he did. So there's
yeah
still repercussions for stuff he
for
couldn't even
Bucky,
control.
and they're
Yet
just
this
gonna let
person
her off
who did
scot
it,
free.
yeah, she did it out of the power of her own free will, and she's just gonna walk around free after this with the X-Men.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I think that whole dynamic of the Jean Grey villain thing is really what brings my score to an 8, and it's why I can't go any higher. It's yeah, that's the reason why. And I think if there was a real villain, this movie peaks at the end, and I could put it over No Way Home. But I'm
mhm.
struggling to do it right now,
Yeah,
just because of that. And No Way Home leaves a better feeling in my chest after watching it than this movie does. So I don't know. I'm not 100% on which one I put above the other, but it's tough.
I think it's like a 1A 1B to be honest.
Yeah,
Because I think
yeah,
like we're kind of like beating the drum, but like No Way Home, you have better. I think it's like the Endgame Infinity War conversation.
yeah, yeah,
Like Endgame has probably the higher highs, but Infinity War top to bottom is is better in my opinion.
yeah. But even Infinity War has moments. The snap with the oh god
Yeah,
silence, the Thor entry, the Cap entry. There's like things in Infinity War that are really, really,
yeah,
really
no
good.
doubt. I just think most people would probably agree that like the final hour of Endgame
Is
is
peak.
probably better than like 90% of Infinity War.
Yeah. No, I
But
agree.
getting to that final battle can feel like you're doing
It
homework
could be a
sometimes.
drag.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think I have too many other like pros or cons on the movie. I think
What
we've
do you
touched
think
on.
of? So let's interpret. So the movie ends with Peter and Ned doing their handshake, and Ned they make it's well done in terms that it's up for interpretation. I first interpreted it that he got his memory back, but then you brought up a good point that it was just him recognizing that this is Spider-Man. Like this is the Peter that MJ was talking about
Yeah.
with
Well, I think
Spider-Man. So
first he forgot who Peter was, but it didn't delete his muscle memory, and so I think the handshake is muscle memory,
yeah,
and he probably remembers. Go
I
ahead.
don't mind him knowing the handshake because he's done it so many times.
Yeah.
It was after that that it made it seem like the handshake trickled that the memory
Because
back.
the way he says Peter,
Yeah.
like it's almost like he has a realization, like this is Peter
Hmm.
Parker, who I
Or
knew, who
this
was
is my
Spider Man. I don't,
friend. Yeah.
yeah, and so I don't know if that was the intention. I think them having Zendaya say Peter's name at the apartment when he leaves, and then Ned catches it, probably is like the prelude to that scene
Hmm.
to where like, oh, he
Yeah.
realizes that's Spider Man.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know that like that's his friend
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they did the handshake when he was in the suit at least once
in
before.
the other
So
movies.
yeah,
So
I'm
he would
pretty
put that
yeah. So
together.
but yeah,
Yeah,
so I did interpret it as at first um, he got his memory back, but I'm more so on the
I
side that
actually,
he recognizes. I would rather it be the latter that he just recognizes this is Spider-Man and maybe he knows he was friends with Spider-Man or he gets
yeah,
some of that back. But I don't want this to like give him every memory back that they had. Like I think that's
no,
cheap.
and I do think like if he remembers who Peter was and like the friendship and all that, I think it's okay for Ned to be the one that does it first because I think like it's much easier to accept that we knew each other but I don't remember you and build a new friendship than for MJ to remember him and start a new like
Hmm.
dating relationship. It's much harder to do
Yeah,
that than it is for him and Ned to be friends again. So I think if they become close friends, like I'd be okay with that in the next movie.
yeah.
Zendaya, I think you need to build it a little bit more, but they have really set a good foundation for that in this film. Do you think that should have been the mid credits, the Ned thing? Because I think was it, I don't know if it was you or somebody else that said it, but I think it was perfect as the
No,
ending
I
to the
think it was.
movie.
But I think it was fine at the end. I honestly think if you and like the credits, they dragged. They were long credits.
Dude,
And
did you
if
see
that was
the
like,
Star Wars shout out in the credits?
yeah, and if
That
that
was
was
funny.
like, um, if that let's say that was the end credits and we didn't get the other scene that we'll talk about in a minute, like that would have been so I don't know that would have been so anticlimactic. I think it was the perfect way to end off the movie and set up
Yeah.
the next few with Ned and MJ. I
Hmm.
think their inclusion in this movie means that they nearly have to be in this trilogy moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yeah.
The one thing about MJ I think I really liked is that they do leave it up in the air that they might not get back together. Like there's still a real
She's still
possibility that
technically dating the other guy.
yeah, well, yeah, that guy I don't think we're ever going to see him again. You don't even get
Yeah,
a
I think
name
he's
for him.
done.
You don't even get his
No.
name. I was
I
really
thought he'd be
waiting in that
bigger.
scene for her to call him Harry or something.
That'd been
Or
crazy.
but we don't even get his name, so I highly doubt. And she clearly doesn't really like him that much. So
You know what would have been cool? The blonde in the elevator. If that was Gwen.
yeah, I thought maybe you could have got set up, maybe some setup for that. I mean, you still could,
Yeah, you could
like
do it.
she could
Yeah,
still appear later on. But
because I looked up the casting because I wanted to see like if there was anything to that. She doesn't have a name in the movie at all. At
yeah,
least
I think it's
I
just
didn't
like
see it
it's just like
online.
elevator girl or apartment girl.
Yeah, so they could. I mean, it's open to do that, but who knows? Do
Yeah.
you?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you want to just jump to the end credits now and talk about that?
Yeah. So the
Or is
end
there any?
credits, being the Spidey tracker on New York, and then going to essentially space, and you see the Spider-Man logo appear there. I immediately interpreted that as Toby, like Toby's world, or Toby coming into the worlds combining, and that's Toby Spider-Man. I've seen other people say that it's Tom Holland, Peter going into like Battle World.
Mm-hmm.
I still see it as Toby because this is right before Doomsday, so that makes more sense to me.
Yeah, I think Toby is the most logical, but that wasn't my first thought. My first, like, when I saw that, just my instinct was Miles, and it's probably not Miles for Secret
Mm,
Wars or anything like that, but that was my instinct. I do think Toby is the more logical answer there for
yeah,
that end credit scene. So I hope it is Toby. But my other thing is like, if you were gonna do that, maybe just show Toby in the end credits and do something different. But then my buddy was saying, well, then you have 2 out of 4 movies where Toby is in Tom's movie and taking over, and it's unfair to Tom. So I get that, but
mm-hmm.
you're building up Doomsday with that, and so maybe you do show Toby to build the hype even more. I don't know.
Yeah. I think I'm fine with the way they did it. That it's
I
interpretation
am
because
too.
it could be
Yeah,
any Spider-Man.
yeah,
Um, but I just I view it as Toby and like because it's right before Doomsday. I think Miles will be in Secret Wars,
hmm
but I think it would have been. I think it kind of would have been cool if they showed multiple Spider-Man faces on the Spidey tracker.
like a few
But I
of them.
guess
Yeah,
yeah, but I guess that kind of would have been maybe too much to
that's a
show.
messy thing to do. Yeah,
I think if it was Miles, I mean, I was about to say like they would have had that Spider Verse like static, but I think it does kind of go static for a second before it reveals the Spider Man logo. But you would have seen Miles Spider Man logo is the black mask. I think they would have
yeah,
purposely done that.
yeah. Do
So
you think it's Toby on the Fantastic Four ship?
it could
Because
be.
I thought if they were going to do that, if that was the intention, they could have had the Fantastic Four music play slightly, but they didn't do that. So, and that would to me would have been a dead giveaway of what it was. So maybe that's why they didn't. But that would have been cool if it was like the Fantastic Four music over the logo, and then you kind of realize it's Toby on that ship.
Yeah, it could. I mean, that's a good way to look at it. Obviously, there's theories out there and rumors that Toby won't even get much screen time in the movie, but we won't have to get into
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
But one thing I just thought of, like, so this movie has to take place before the end credit scene of Thunderbolts.
Because Elena,
Yeah, because she
she has
the
no clue.
the ship is at the end of the post credit scene of Thunderbolts, and like
Well, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So
the F4
it's
ship.
technically,
Yeah,
but it's because I think that credits is 14 months after the movie, so it's got to be in that
yeah,
gap.
it's a time jump. I don't remember exactly how long it was, but it has to because like I don't think she would have been working with him, or she would have at least hinted that like there's these other people here because that
Yeah,
F4 ship is going to directly tie into like Doomsday. So
yeah,
I don't see how that ship and everything happened before this movie.
yeah. No, it couldn't have. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was a good end credit scene. I kind of wish they did a mid credit scene with Yelena probably getting a call from Red Guardian about big potatoes, and it's, hinting at Doomsday. That would have been like a funny kind of hype builder. They
Yeah.
probably could have done that, but it is what it is.
I wonder if they're gonna bring that, like, if that's ever gonna be said again, the big potato stuff.
It probably will. I imagine it is.
Yeah.
I'm shocked how long it took for Yelena to get leaked in this movie. It wasn't until like a week ago.
Was she like leaked or was it announced?
It was like, I don't know if it was announced, but it was like leaked by like all the pages that post news, and then I think she was at the premiere, and so that was the dead giveaway, obviously. But like, I think it was just leaks.
Okay.
Leading up
I
to
couldn't
it.
remember if it was like
I
a
think.
leak or
I mean,
if it was actually.
yeah.
But
So,
what do you think's next for Tom
well, I
Holland?
think we get two more at least, right?
I would think so. I
don't
think
think
his trilogy is going to end with him passing the mantle to
somebody.
Miles.
Okay. When do you think it'll be? You think we'll get the next one in 28 to compete with the Batman and they'll have it next to Ghost Rider
I think probably 29, just
with Black
because
Panther?
with Secret Wars Doomsday, they might not want to announce it yet, and then you also have Ghost Rider and Black Panther in 28, so I think they'll probably want to, give the attention.
Oh, Black
to
Panther's 28, not 29.
Yeah, it's like December 28.
Oh, okay, yeah. So then I would say 29 for Spider-Man.
Yeah, probably like summer 29. Maybe you'll get that in like Strange 3 finally.
Unless one of them unless Black Panther gets delayed or something like that, and then you can get Spider-Man in that slot. But I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think 29. I mean, that's only 3 years. It's not that.
Yeah,
far
it feels
away,
like it's longer,
so.
but it's only 3. It's a shorter wait than the Batman Part 2. So
Yeah.
that's all right.
And I mean, it took nearly 5 years to go from No Way Home to this, and it really didn't feel that long. So.
Yeah. So it's not bad. Is there anything else you have major that you want to bring up? Because I think I'm pretty good.
Necessarily think of. I mean, we didn't really talk about the mutation, I guess. I thought the last thing I'll say, I thought that was really well done, and like how they explained why he was mutating, because he was just being Spider-Man over and over again. He didn't let himself relax, and even we didn't even bring her up. I really liked his relationship with the Wolf, the detective.
Yeah,
and I thought she played a good part in this movie, and she even was telling him like, you're working too hard.
She is like that Aunt May replacement, and you can see him change because at the end of the movie he like finally knows their names, like the kids' names and stuff. So I think he's taken the weight off of his shoulders of like being the city's protector and stuff like that, and she plays a role in that, and I like that for Peter.
Yeah, and even she's like, we can handle a bank robbery, and he's like, you're right, and then that leads into him seeing Ned. So if he would have helped them, you wouldn't have gotten the handshake at the end.
Yeah, it's giving him more of like a social life and stuff like that.
I do really like his overall the transformation, how he couldn't control it. I mean, you see his rage in the Scorpion scene, and then even in the MJ scene where he's basically like choking her when she's being possessed by Jean on that rooftop, and you see that he can't control it, and then he finally gets that balance at the hand fight scene. Did you like how that was handled in that scene?
What that
he was like, I have to be both. No, he was like, I'm both. I'm not.
Oh yeah, I liked that.
Yeah,
I thought that was good. I liked that a lot. I thought it was. I mean, it was kind of obvious, but like I liked the way they went with that.
I also love that scene of him spinning down the, spinning from the ceiling, and webbing up all the hand. Mm-hmm. I guess he has organic webbing moving forward now.
I think they're going with he's fully accepted that transfer. That's why he's not using the inhibitor anymore. Like he's fully accepting the transition, and he's going to embrace it. And I mean, I've said it before. I like organic webbing as compared to web shooters, just because of the nature of a Spider-Man. Yeah. But I think they did a really good job of showing his genius in this movie more than they have in other ones, and showing like to go from the web shooters and all the tech that he created to this. It shows his genius, but also like his morals as a person to be able to accept the change. So I think those two worked really well, and that's why I'm okay with going to that kind of transition. So
Yeah, I think it was natural in the end, and like I prefer web shooters, but I'm not. It's really not. It's overall not the end of the world to me. Like I don't.
I
He still
think,
has the same powers either way in a sense. He's still doing the same
and
thing.
with Tom, you got 3.5 Spider-Man movies and 2 Avengers movies of him with shooters. Like I think getting
Mm,
2.5 with organic is okay,
yeah,
and it's a different era for him. So it actually is kind of nice to have a development for Peter. So
yeah. No, I agree.
uh,
That's kind of about it.
yeah, I don't
I mean,
think
I
I
still
have.
think, even with the gripes, I think we still. I mean, the last thing I'll add is the MCU is kind of on a hot streak right now. We'll see if they can, because after years of kind of middling with, and I think Disney Plus shows did cause a lot of that
Yeah,
fatigue and the midness in their releases. But you have Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, and Spider Man. Even if you're lower on Fantastic Four, I think you can acknowledge that you can understand why people enjoy it a
like it.
lot.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
solid. Yeah,
So you have three really solid releases in a row. Obviously, there's a lot of concerns and thoughts about Doomsday, but if you hit on that, then
you're
I
in a good
mean,
spot,
yeah.
especially
So
financially.
yeah,
So
they're gonna make so much money from Spider-Man.
it's crazy
And,
how much I don't understand how it's doing this well.
and the
I mean, I
Spider-Man
understand it,
budget
but like,
wasn't even. It was only like 225. Like
yeah,
that's really not that bad considering. Apparently, Doomsday needs like 1.5 billion to break even.
to
I mean,
break
that's
even.
a really early report, but with the star
Yeah,
power in that movie and the
yeah,
the VFX and the marketing, I kind of believe it that they got to pay all
yeah.
these people.
It
So
makes sense. This movie's the number now is at 900 for opening weekend, which is insane.
I think it's gonna easily cross 2 billion.
I think so now too,
I
which is
would find it
nuts.
hard to see it not. At worst, 1.8. I think it gets. I think
And
Doomsday
this
will
is without
struggle more.
IMAX.
Yeah, I think Doomsday will struggle a little bit. Well, it's also without Infinity Vision. How could you forget about
Yeah,
that?
yeah, right, exactly.
I think this will clearly do much better, like easy have a better chance of getting 2 billion than Doomsday. But I still think Doomsday will.
I
I
think
think
they
Doomsday
both will
can
do
break
it.
even at least.
I mean, this it's going to do 900, give or take, this weekend, it seems. And then what? The next weekend, it's going to do 300. Like it's probably going to drop to that, and like all of a sudden, you're at 1.2 billion in a week and a half.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
and I
going to do
mean,
crazy numbers.
there's like, my parents wanted to see it, and I tried to look at tickets. There's nothing
Yeah,
at any
I
theater.
every theater is filled up.
Yeah,
Even
and
like
I mean,
other formats. Like I've looked at Screen X and 40X. I think I'm going to go tomorrow or Monday to 40X. At 8 a.m., it's mobbed.
yeah, I mean,
Like,
I tried to look for them. I couldn't find anything when I went. I know it was opening night, but I've never seen my theater, the parking lot, or that packed. Like it was just
yeah,
insane.
that's the
And
most packed I've probably ever been for a theater.
it's just emotion that Spider-Man has. The last thing I'll say is that it officially has the biggest domestic opening of all time with 168 million, which is
Yeah, it
just
beat Endgame.
insane.
Nuts.
Yeah, it's
I
just it's crazy.
I don't understand how it's. I mean, I understand how it's done that well, but it's genuinely shocking. I didn't think it would do this well. So,
Yeah, we even when we said it was gonna, like you said, do crazy numbers. This is just beyond what I expected.
yeah.
So,
So,
but that's all I got.
yeah.
Excited. Now it's just off to Doomsday. Really, there's not really any crazy major blockbuster releases until then.
No.
That
Now
June, so
we're free and clear until then. So,
about 4.5 months left. Not too
yep,
far away. So,
just about. So,
all right. Well, thanks
all
for
right.
watching. Hope you enjoyed Spider-Man: Brand New Day. If you saw it, if not, go see it. And that's all for us.
Yeah. See you guys in the next one.